very ENTJ look.
Thank you. Thank you. Okay, so let's get some introductions out of the way. Everybody knows who I am. I'm Rogue ENTJ. My name is Thomas VanBuskirk. I'm a former journalist. I'm also the co-admin on the account, obviously. And you are?
So my name is Isobel. I am the Imperfect INFP. I don't really run the account very well, I won't lie. So if anybody is my followers and are thinking, she hasn't posted in a long time, hands up, I haven't. But yeah, I'm an INFP basically. So yeah.
Nice. Okay, so we'll start with a couple questions. So one, what is the INFP's opinions on ENTJs?
Opinion, did you say?
Yes. Yes.
Oh, I absolutely love ENTJs. So they would hands down probably be. Actually, that's a lie. I was going to say they're my favourite type, and they're probably not. But they're my favourite type 100% to be in a relationship with. So I think ENTJs are just amazing. I think they're probably one of the most balanced, like functional types out of all of the types. But that's just my perspective. Just organised, efficient, get stuff done. I would say they're very well made for a world of capitalism. So they just generally do quite well in life, which is obviously an attractive trait. But yeah, I really like ENTJs.
Yeah, I mean, I could definitely relate with some of that stuff you said, so.
Yeah. I feel, especially compared to like INFPs, probably ISFPs, like other types who are maybe less equipped for capitalism and functioning in the day-to-day world, like ENTJs are up there just killing it, really.
Yeah, exactly. We're like censure intuitive, so we're like this.
Yeah, I would agree.
Okay, so I guess it's my turn. What are my opinion of INFPs? Good question. I don't know many INFPs, to be honest. I know one of my best friends is one from high school. She cuts my hair actually, so she's
Oh, nice.
yeah.
I like
They're
your
pretty
haircut.
cool. Oh, thank you, thank you. Yeah, but INFPs, like initially, I find we're complete opposites, but it's like I'm also kind of attracted to them the same way. It's like I want to protect them. You guys are very different. Like I'm like into like very serious, into my business, into my work and all that, and you guys are just like I don't know. It's weird, but it's like attracting at the same time. You know what I mean? Like the opposites attract, and I can see that. So.
Yeah, I think it's difficult actually because I wouldn't say that there was, I don't know, I wouldn't say there was like an initial kind of mad amount of chemistry between an ENTJ and an INFP because on the surface we are so different. I feel ENTJs can externally look like very serious, very like domineering and commanding.
Yeah.
Whereas I feel quite playful, I'm quite bubbly, and yeah, there definitely wasn't like an immediate attraction between me and my ENTJ. It's definitely something that's sort of built over time, I think, and that's definitely, like I've said, the opposites sort of slowly attract, but you're probably more instantly attracted to people who are more similar to you. I don't know.
Yeah. Like for our first interactions with my first interaction with INFPs, I actually kind of find you guys pretty annoying in the beginning. You guys are just like scatterbrain. You kind of come across like scatterbrain. You guys are all over the place. Like I think of you kind of like as golden retriever puppies.
I'll take it.
Yeah, but then it kind of grows on me after a while because it's like you kind of build this like, man, I just gotta protect these motherfuckers. Like
Just repeat what you just said. Sorry, because it crashed.
Okay, yeah, I said. So you guys are like puppies, so I like look at you guys like, oh damn, you guys are annoying motherfuckers, but I gotta protect them. So So yeah,
I definitely.
But after a while, like my INFP friend and I, we don't really. We have a pretty good friendship, but we don't really talk. Like we're not like the friends that hang out 24/7 or anything like that. But when we do hang out, it's usually pretty cool. We have some great conversations. I love that about INFPs. They can literally talk about anything.
Yeah, that is true. We're probably not very good at small talk. I feel like we struggle in that arena.
Yeah.
But we do like dive straight into the deep topics pretty fast, I think. So some people love that and some people hate that.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so next question. So, what is your initial thought process when you interact with the ENTJ for the first time?
The very first time. So, it's hard because I only know a handful of ENTJs in my life, but obviously, I mostly think of my partner because we're obviously very, very close. So the first time my ENTJ partner, there was a lot of like attraction, but we didn't understand one another at all. So it definitely wasn't like one of those dates that you go on where you just want to spend forever and ever with each other, because we were so different. He come across kind of intimidating, very, very confident, very charismatic and charming. And just like he had his, can I swear? I don't know if I can swear. Like he had his life together, basically.
Yeah, shit together.
Yeah, he had his shit together is what I was going to go for. But yeah, there was definitely kind of attraction on both our ends because we were just kind of curious to learn about each other because we were so different.
Yeah. My first interaction with INFP, I just remember there's this one girl in middle school. We weren't friends or anything, but she was like, I always thought of INFPs like the typical California girl with like the latte in their hand and all that, the blonde hair, you know.
Yeah.
For each other. So, what do you think? How do you relate, and what do you think of the INFP stereotypes?
Oh, this is a hard question because I don't want to sound like a toddler spitting their dummy out in a pram. And I know every type will be like, oh, I don't agree with my stereotypes, but I do feel that INFPs get a pretty bad rap, but maybe that's just me. But yeah, we are kind of often portrayed as like the emotional crybabies who are obsessed with anime. And I don't know, that's not really me. I can definitely relate to that maybe in my younger years. So maybe the stereotypes are obviously based on the unhealthiest versions of each type, which makes sense.
Yeah.
I don't know. But yeah, I'm definitely quite sensitive, and I definitely was a lot more sensitive in my younger years. So I can see where they do come from. But yeah, I don't know. Don't let the stereotypes define you.
Yeah.
What about you?
For me, ENTJ stereotypes are also kind of harsh. I think a lot of people like correlate the unhealthy ENTJs with all ENTJs. So like for us, they say that we don't give a fuck about a lot of things and we're assholes and we only care about making money and efficiency. Which for me, it's yes and no. Like I definitely care about efficiency and I definitely want to make a lot of money in my life, but at the same point, I also care about the world and I only want to make money to make the world a better place, if you get what I'm saying. So I think that's where a lot of people don't see. And yeah, I don't like the stereotypes. I think a lot of people actually on my account, like I've been on the MBTI community for over a year now, and I only have 1,300 followers compared to other accounts who have started like literally half the time. They have easily twice as much. So in a lot of ways, I feel like that is part of the ENTJ stereotype. People are kind of scared to talk to me, and they're kind of intimidated by me just because I'm an ENTJ. But I think overall, I think stereotypes have some truth behind them, and I think there probably is some ENTJs that have those traits. I just happen to be one of the ones that don't.
Yeah, I think quite possibly actually understanding your type, so like knowing your MBTI type in the first place would allow you to kind of break free from those stereotypes.
Yes.
But also just maturing and growing up. And I think it's often a lot of like younger teenagers who are like making the memes and things like that that are kind of going viral. So they would be based on like unhealthy stereotypes. But yeah, I don't know. Like my first impression of my partner, who's an ENTJ, was very much the stereotype that you've just said that you're not. And now that I know him, he's definitely not those. But to an outsider, that's how he comes across. So
yeah, exactly. And it's like first impressions, perception is everything. And I feel like, especially Enneagram 8 ENTJs, we really want to appear like we're strong and powerful. even though sometimes that isn't always the case. But to the other people who are maybe even less so of those traits, they look at them and are like, wow, this motherfucker can go up there and speak in front of 1,000 people, no problem. Damn. And like, yeah, but also what you don't see is all the work that it took to get to that point. Like for me, like I used to be on TV sometimes, and there's like this one thing where I had this blunder on one of the live reports at night, and that was got to be one of the most embarrassing things I ever dealt with in my life. Like imagine being on camera in front of like probably a couple million people, and you say something stupid.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. How would you feel about this? Is just a small percentage observation because obviously I don't know a lot of ENTJs, but do you feel like you had to grow up quite quickly, or like did you mature faster than other people?
Yeah, well, I don't know about other ENTJs, but for me, I had a really rough childhood. My dad, he was to say not very fatherly like is an understatement. So my dad kind of left the situation when I was around 10, and I basically had to become the man in the house at that age. My mom had MS. I had a twin sister who just died only a couple of years ago, and I had a little sister I had to take care of. And my stepdad, he was basically a narcissistic INFP who, yeah, he wasn't very helpful. So I had to I had to drop out actually at 17 from high school for a year to get a job and take care of my family. So yeah, I definitely was the adult kid in the situation, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, I literally had no idea of any of that, but
Yeah, no,
yeah, I would imagine situations make you grow up very, very fast.
yeah. So what about INFPs? Do you feel like you guys grew up pretty fast, or you guys feel like you're kind of more sheltered growing up?
Yeah, definitely. I wasn't sheltered growing up because I didn't have the greatest childhood, but I definitely don't feel like I started kind of maturing or being equipped to kind of handle life situations until I got a little bit older. Like I would say my late teens, early 20s. So yeah, but even now, I feel like I'm still, I don't know, still kind of having to get a grip on the basics that seem to come very easily to other people. So I don't know if that's an INFP thing or just a me thing. I'm not sure, but yeah.
Yeah, well, I definitely relate to that even as an ENTJ. Like for me, I look put together. People would look at me and they're like, "Damn, I can't believe he's 21." But in reality, is like a lot of the stuff that other people learn growing up, like not the like censors already just know. Like I always feel like I'm so like out like just behind the curve, if you know what I mean. Like I'm
Mm-hmm.
just like I literally just learned how to do my taxes a year ago.
Yeah. Oh,
So,
that's an American thing, isn't it? We don't have to do that in
oh
Britain,
yeah,
so.
okay, you live in Britain. Yeah, yeah.
But
So
yeah, I don't envy
we had
that.
yeah. So I just learned how to do some of this stuff, and I'm a fast learner, so that helps. But I can imagine people who aren't a ENTJ or a TE dom and how hard it would be for them who don't have, and people who didn't have the people to teach them life skills and how hard it would be. So yeah, I can
Mm-hmm.
definitely relate to that.
Yeah,
So you're Enneagram 4, right?
I am. Yeah, 4 wing 5.
Okay, so C's a 4 wing 5, everybody. I'm an 8 wing 9, just so you know. So now let's talk about Enneagram for a little bit then. So what do you think about Enneagram 4s? Like, what do you think? What do you wish people understood about Enneagram 4s?
Hmm, I don't really know. What do I wish people understood about Enneagram 4s? We feel everything very. Oh, yeah, so definitely we feel everything so, so deeply. Something that I once read about Enneagram 8s and 4s is that an Enneagram 4 feels every shade of grey in the world, and Enneagram 8s tend to just kind of feel the black and the white, like the big emotions that are sort of feeling. Whereas I'll be sat watching like an advert and just like start getting really emotional and start crying. And my partner's just sat there like it's just an advert on TV, like it's really not worth investing my emotions into that. I
Mm-hmm.
get really overwhelmed kind of watching shows, so like if I have to be careful about what I watch. So we're just very sensitive and like very emotional. But I don't think it's necessarily a bad thing. I think it makes me see the world in a really like kind of beautiful way, and yeah, I don't know, I quite like being a 4.
Yeah, yeah. I think 4s and 8s are actually really similar in a lot of ways. They're both extremely passionate, from my experience. We both are extremely kind. Like I would say eights are probably not kind in like Enneagram 9 or Enneagram 2 way, but we're more like kind and like we're very altruistic. I feel like eights, we're very authentic and we really try to if we do something for someone, we don't really expect anything in return compared to some of the other types. I think both eights and fours both really care about authenticity, if you know what I mean. Like I really
100%.
care.
Yeah, I would.
Yeah, like I really care about being myself and going out there and living the life I live, and I really don't give a fuck what other people think.
I see. I
So
think that's applicable to like Enneagram 8s and ENTJs, as well as INFPs and 4s. That's something that I think works really well, like in a relationship, that there's so much value on just being yourself and authenticity and honesty. And that's something that I really love about ENTJs, actually. I would much rather hear it just how it is rather than be kind of lied to or told this like fairy tale that's not real life. Like, I love knowing where I stand. And I love that that gives other people the space to be themselves as well. So I think that's a really good trait to have.
yeah, yeah, I definitely get that. Okay, next question. So this one's about social interactions in school. So how would your friends describe you in high school and middle school and all that stuff? I don't know what they are in the UK, but you know, school. Did
School was a really hard time as an INFP. Um, so I just felt like I didn't know myself at all. I really struggled with having like opinions on things. I always knew I was a little bit different to kind of like who I was friends with. I didn't really feel like I fitted in. Um, so yeah, I would probably be described as like a little bit weird, not weird enough to get bullied because I knew kind of my place. I had a real kind of identity loss and I didn't know who I was when I was in high school. I don't know how it was as an
yeah,
ENTJ, but
yeah, yeah, definitely. I think I actually heard that's pretty common with INFPs. It's like I know INFPs who were bullied in high school, but I also know INFPs that kind of just like stayed under the radar. They had people knew them. They weren't popular, but people knew who they were. But yeah, I think high school would probably be a really tough time for INFPs because just in a world full of censors and a world full of all these other people, it'd be hard for just INFPs who are just trying to find out who they are. So for me in high school,
yeah, just oh yeah, sorry, you go.
go ahead. No, go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Oh no, it's okay. I was just gonna say that just the structure of school and everything was difficult, but I'm curious.
Yeah.
I didn't know any ENTJs in high school. I'm curious to see how that was for you.
Yeah, for me, people definitely could know I was confident. Like I was in leadership. I played sports. Um, I was definitely well known. I wouldn't say popular because people really didn't like me. I was kind of an asshole, honestly. I know, surprise, but um, yeah, I was someone. I had good grades, but I also was the kid who would sit in the front of the class and argue with the teacher if they got something wrong. So I probably came across pretty ENTP 8 7 actually. That's what one of my friends actually thought I was an ENTP in high school. Because I literally,
Yeah,
I
that's
think,
interesting.
go ahead,
Oh, I
go
was
ahead.
just going to say it's interesting because I've spoken to my partner a lot about how he was in school, and nobody liked him. He was a bit of an asshole, um,
Yeah,
and yeah, he was definitely still like growing into himself. He definitely like wasn't as well rounded as he is now.
yeah, definitely. I feel like, actually, it's funny. Like once I hit 20, that's when I really started developing really quickly. But in high school, if you look at the function stack,
Are you
I
there?
was basically just NI and TE, and let's face it, NI and TE aren't really the two best functions to make friends and be liked in high school. Now, if you want to get stuff done,
Oh,
yeah, those are pretty good functions to have. But making friends, no, people didn't like me. I always had, I never really smiled. Like all my photos, I had basically the same face. I was very efficiency driven, so if you showed up 5 minutes late to a project, I told you to go fuck off and leave. And this is in high school. I really didn't have any respect for authority. I think that's my A part coming out. And I just remember my senior year, every single lunch, I was in detention for something. You're telling a kid to go fuck off or something. That was, yeah. So I was kind of the bad boy, I guess. But I definitely did I was also the bully's bully. I don't know if your boyfriend said this too, but I feel like Enneagram 8s are the bully's bully. Like if we see other people bully someone who's like, you know, and I would always stick up for those kids. That's something I always did. I had no problem fighting with ESTPs and all that. Hell, I got in a lot of fist fights myself. So yeah, that's definitely something. Okay, the phone's buffering. Can you hear me?
So I don't know if you can hear
me?
me, but no, I just wanted
Yeah,
to say
okay.
The last time I heard you was you said I don't know if your boyfriend did this to you, but I didn't hear anything after that, unfortunately.
Okay, no, not to you, but like, did your boyfriend do this too in high school, where he was the bully's bully? You know, like if he saw someone bullying someone, he would step in and like interfere.
Oh, no, he wasn't. He wasn't a bully, but he said he really played into, like, he saw high school as kind of a game, and he knew that he had to be at the top of the game. So he knew what he had to do, how he had to act, how he had to dress to get to the top of the game, and he knew who he had to be friends with. So it was very strategic for him. And he said he knew that wasn't really him, but like he just thought, I've just got to do this to kind of get through the day, sort of thing, which I can't relate to, but yeah.